Okay, it's 6 or 7 parts and they're 26 minutes each. Nah, I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry, you want me to watch a documentary? Are you fucking kidding me? The longest documentary I watched was when remember we watched the fucking Vietnam War documentaries? We watched like 3 of them in order to learn about Vietnam. Why? Because some guy died. I don't even remember his name. But people were like crab raving his death. And Kissinger, yeah, I don't know who Kissinger was. He was a good dude. Somehow I knew you would say that, Kauze. Somehow I knew. We did what? That's not a documentary though. I'm talking about a documentary. Like, at least the guy with shit anime takes made me feel some kind of way. Like, at least I felt something other than fucking bored. Alright? But the Kissinger the Vietnam documentaries were because people were celebrating Kissinger's death, and I don't know who he is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you. Even after watching all of the documentaries on the Vietnam War, I still don't really feel like I know enough about Kissinger to give a shit about him dying. Like, even after all the stuff we watched, like, I just don't care that much, I guess. Like, I don't know why we're celebrating. I mean, he seems like he was a bad dude, but I just don't know. I didn't get enough information to make a good judgment call on celebrating. So, I don't know. I think I said learning about things I learned. I unironically learned. I just was sitting there. I'm like, okay, yes, so he bombed a bunch of people. Why is this bad? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm dumb. Okay? I want you to understand that I'm stupid. Please recognize this. I don't know how to feel when I'm told that someone was like a mass murderer. Okay? Like, it doesn't make me feel like anything to find that information out. Like, if you told me that Obama tomorrow killed 100 million people and covered it up, it wouldn't make me feel any differently about Obama. I wouldn't care. Like, I would know that it's bad, but I wouldn't feel anything. I wouldn't be able to pretend that I cared about it. I would just know that it was bad. In my head, I know it's bad, but I don't feel anything for it. Like, and even then, if someone told me a reason that it was actually good, then I wouldn't know what to think anymore. Maybe it was, I don't know. I just wouldn't know. He was sending drones and killing civilians, but he had a reason. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel anything. Like, I thank you for the information, but it doesn't make, I don't know. The reason is to benefit U.S. imperialism. A beast? Anyone else beast? Thoughts? This looks really ugly. That's my thoughts. You bought it? Oh, I think it looks great. It looks, wow, it looks really cool. Whoa, that's really cool of you. I love it. What is... I just like the pitbull named Earth Destroyer. I don't know why, but Pitbull memes are so funny to me. I don't know what exactly it is about pit bulls. I just love like pit bull versus toddlers or whatever. What are my biggest pet peeves by people? Yeah, littering annoys me. Um, a lot actually. Littering, unironically, I'd be less likely to be someone's friend if they littered than if they killed a person. I don't even think I'm kidding when I say that. Like, if someone told me that they were a murderer and they went to jail for murder and they came out of jail and they, you know, they did 15 years in prison or whatever, and then that same person littered in front of me, I would be like, okay, bro, like the murder I understand, but what the fuck is this? And I would, yeah, I don't know. An attitude chew with his mouth open? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. One thing I do, I don't know if it's bad, people can tell me, but I talk with food in my mouth, but I cover my mouth when I talk with food in my mouth. I don't know if it's like because I feel like I have to speak on stream thing. It's something I noticed I do when I'm streaming. I don't know if it's a bad thing. You find it incredibly cute? Okay. As long as you guys don't think it's like weird or gross. Did I do it before streaming? Probably. I don't think it doesn't seem like a thing that I would do on stream that I wouldn't do on stream. I think it would be a real life thing. If you cover your mouth, you see no problem. I see, okay. That was a yawn. I wasn't eating anything, I was yawning. I yawned there? And it was really hot. Like, my breath was so hot when I yawned right there. That was kind of insane. Anyway, I'm gonna vibe out for a second. One more question? Go. Fire. Send it. Oh, sorry, I just zoned out when you asked your question. Should the guy always make the first move? Honestly, if you're overthinking it, you're probably already in a bad place, is what I would say. If you're having to use a lot of thought, it's probably already going in a direction that you don't want it to go, I would say. So if you're having to think about whether or not you even want to make the first move, it's probably not gonna, I mean, you can, but it's probably already fucked, I guess, is how I feel about it. Yeah. It's already fucked, you'll never see her again? Oh, well, that's whatever then. I do have a minor infection I gotta do? Oh, okay. But you feel like maybe that night you should have done something different, or what? That night maybe hooked up? I mean, if you didn't, there was probably a reason that you didn't. So, I wouldn't overthink it. If you had the chance and you didn't take it, there was probably a reason that you didn't. So, work call, probably a good reason not to. Yeah, probably. I don't know though. I mean, if you're not gonna fuck your coworkers, who are you gonna fuck? Real question, real talk. I'm not fit for this HR woke world. All of the drama at work, though, got enough to aggravate you. You don't need relationship stuff there, too? Employee about to receive a warning.
Chat with you quickly as a couple employees came to...
I hope your day's going well. I just wanted to introduce you to Brendan. He is head of our HR team.
Hey, Millie. Just wanted to chat with you quickly as a couple employees came to us about a few incidents in the office last week. Erin mentioned that you took her lunch right off her desk, which is obviously totally inappropriate. And then obviously the sleeping on the job situation. Lily mentioned to me that you fell asleep at your desk last week. So just wanted to chat And I guess before we chat anymore, do you mind turning your camera on? It's a little awkward when Lily and I have our cameras on and yours is off. Cool. Thanks so much. So yeah, just wanted to chat through those.
Funny.
Hey, I hope you're
Very funny. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, having sex with coworkers. Yeah, of course you're gonna have sex with your coworkers. Like, it would be super unreasonable to expect that people. Who else are we gonna date? Here's my question for you: who the fuck else are we supposed to date if not our fucking coworkers? Who the fuck else? You know how many friends adults have? Like, two. That's the average number of friends an adult fucking human being has. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Date your friends. What friends? I swear to God, people just want us to die alone. The world wants you to die alone. Seriously. Date your fucking coworkers. Fuck your coworkers. Have relationship drama at work. You know who doesn't want you to fuck your coworkers? The man. That's who doesn't want you to fuck your coworkers. Are you gonna listen to the man? I didn't fucking think so. Stick it to the man by sticking it inside of the man at work. I'm not even kidding. Like, I say that as a joke, but it's unironically true. The people that don't want you to fuck your coworkers are people that are looking at productivity charts every fucking day and trying to maximize profits. Are you gonna let some motherfucker who's trying to maximize profits stop you from having sex because it hurts his bottom line? It hurts the shareholders' bottom line? Is that who you're gonna let stop you having sex at work? Coworker orgy? Don't have an orgy, okay? That's just not safe sex. That's not practicing safe sex. Don't do that. That sounds like a bad idea. That sounds like a recipe for not good. Not good idea. I mean, do it if you want, but I don't think it's, I don't know. You go to work with British 50-year-old women, so you think not. If you don't find your coworkers hot, don't fuck them. But if you find a coworker hot, and you both find each other hot, you should absolutely have sex, and one of you fuck. Oh, like when the relationship inevitably falls apart and the job, and one of you ends up quitting the job because of it. That's fine. You know who loses? The company. I'm so serious. Not having sex with coworkers is a HR corporate plot to make you be a better employee and so that they don't have to mediate relationship disputes at work. Because that takes time and money. They don't want employees quitting because they don't want to go to work with their ex-boyfriend anymore. They don't want employees quitting because a guy tried to hit on a girl and she wasn't receptive to it. They don't want employees quitting because of this shit. Like some guy embarrassed himself by being bad at sex or whatever. Like, they don't want to have to mediate that. They don't want to have to pay someone to mediate that. They don't want to lose money from employees quitting. But if you're an adult and you know how to like have a one night stand as an adult, it's whatever. Like just do, like you can have sex with people and then become their friend. There are people in my life, spoiler alert chat, spoiler alert, I've had sex, okay? I'm sorry to tell you. I've had sex. I'm sorry. And I've had sex with I've had sex with my coworkers as well. I'm really sorry to tell you this, okay? But I've known people who like on the first or second time of us like knowing each other, we had sex, and then like 2 years later, we're friends who like had sex 2 years ago. Like that's what we are. Like we're just friends that had sex 2 years ago. It's not that weird, and it's not that hard to like be normal with a person you've had sex with before. It's really not that challenging. Like friends who after 3 years start having sex, I mean, now you're getting into the realm of sometimes you have friends who you have sex with, and then you have a year and a half of being friends. And then after a year and a half of being friends, you're both kind of bored and horny on the same day, and you have sex again, and then you go back to being friends again. Like I've had those friendships as well. I've had friendships with people who like I had sex with them, and then like a year and a half later we had sex again, and then we were just friends after that, and we never had sex again. We just like, yeah, it happened. Do you ever watch the TV show Friends? Did nobody here watch the show Friends? You know that show that everybody hates on because it fucking sucked? Or whatever? You don't do sitcoms? No one has watched a sitcom before? People have sex? Like, how many times did Ross and Rachel have sex before they actually started, like, dating or whatever? Like, a random incident of, like, a character would just have sex with another one of the friends, and then nothing would come for it. There was a whole thing of, like, I don't fucking remember. I don't remember much of Friends. I'm sorry. But, like, there was, like, did Phoebe ever have sex with any of the other people in the friend group? I think she did, right? But like they weren't like they didn't date because of it. Like they just had sex. Like it just happens sometimes. Sometimes it just happens. Do you think men and women can be platonic friends without sexual intentions on either part? Yes. But I think that people can also be like platonic friends, and sex can be a thing that happens, and then they can still go back to being platonic friends. Like I don't buy into the idea of like if you had sex with a person one time, it's a forever non-platonic friendship or something. Like I don't know. I just don't buy into that. I mean, like maybe it proves that there's like the possibility, but I just think that's an insecurity thing or whatever. You like life coach Aoife? Yeah. I think I'm smart. I'm sorry, but I'm good at I understand. It's okay. Yeah, who else has issues for me to coach people through? Okay. Earlier this stream, I'm dumb. Well, I am dumb. Like I said, I am really fucking stupid. Like I said, if you tell me that Henry Kissinger was responsible for the deaths of 300 million people, I'm like, okay, but why do we hate him? Like, okay, like, yeah, I'm wise, not smart. Exactly. No, exactly. I have 8 int, and I have no, or is it the other way around? Am I smart but not wise? I could be the other way around. I could either way. Wisdom or intelligence, one of those two is my dump stat, and the other is my main stat. Okay, one of the two. I think I'm wise but not smart. So int is like my dump stat, and wisdom is my main stat. Okay. I don't know. I think I have good relationship advice in general, personally. For the most part, not in every capacity. Like there's some kinds of relationships that I've never been a part of. Because every relationship is a little bit different. Like some are more, I don't know what the wording would be, but there's a lot of different flavors of relationships, and I've only been like part of like a small section of all relationship types, right? So I couldn't really comment on like the relationship between like trying to think of a good example, but the first thing that comes to my mind is, let's say you have two people who are like really big into like drugs and partying and going to clubs and shit like that and drinking and everything, right? And they're super into that. I don't think I could give good relationship advice on that relationship, because a core aspect of that relationship is probably the shared hobby of like getting fucked up and doing fucked up shit or whatever, like having fun, right? That's probably a core aspect of that relationship. So I couldn't give good advice. Like I couldn't be like, because for me, I'm not a drug doer. Not because I think drugs are cringe or bad. Actually, I think drugs are pretty based, but mostly because I just don't think that I don't like my reaction to drugs for the most part. I don't like how I feel when I'm on drugs for the most part. I think I don't feel like drugs help me loosen up. If anything, I feel like they make me more tense, which is kind of the opposite effect. So, you smoked marijuana for the first time? Well, what was that like? You felt like dying? Yeah, smoking weed is not that fun. Really, it's like one of the worst drugs, in my opinion. I did shrooms last year, and that was okay. But it was fine, I think. Why did we not hear this? Wait, did I not tell the stream that I did shrooms? How was shrooms? I think I had a lot of moments of clarity in it. Some were sad. I had some sad moments of clarity. Um, but for the most part, it was pretty fun, I think. It was pretty tame, I would say. Like, when I thought of like shrooms and like tripping and stuff like that, I was expecting it to be like more intense, I guess. But it just sort of made sense. I felt very lucid during the entire process. Whereas, I guess in my mind, when I was thinking of like tripping on shrooms, I was thinking of like fucking magic mushrooms, like like your pushed animals coming to life and speaking to you. Like I don't know what I was thinking in my brain, right? But in reality, I was just pretty lucid the whole time. Did Wumi get me on shrooms? No, it wasn't Wumi. You tried a quarter of E, and the next day your throat was burning. You couldn't eat for a few days. You realized it was not. I would like to try. I would like to try ecstasy. I think that'd be a cool one to try. The thing is, I just don't go outside, so I don't know any drug dealer. I don't have any drug dealer friends. I'm also like, just in person. If you ever meet me, I'm really, really, really timid. In real life, I'm really timid, and I'm really, I don't know what the word would be. I'm really, I'm so cat coded. Like, I'm very timid and I'm very, very guarded. So it's really hard for anyone in real life to make any progress, like with me. Like, it's really hard for me to open up to anyone because I'm mostly like pretty quiet and nervous. But even when I'm not quiet, I'm guarded. If you think of it like there's like so many different versions of Aoife, right, that exist in the world. Same with everyone, right? There's so many versions of yourself that exist. But like version number one of me is trying to basically be very, very reserved and feel around and see like when I can and can't interact with people, or like how I can like actually like make an in like the conversation or like the social situation, right? So I'm very like just kind of feeling my way through, super reserved, not making any sort of waves. And then at a certain point, once I get a little bit of comfort, then I would describe what I'm doing. I want to use the word posturing, but I wouldn't really say posturing. It's not posturing in the traditional sense, but once I get a little bit of comfort, I'll probably put forward the strongest version of myself, like the most powerful version of myself and the most guarded version of myself. That'll be the first thing that I reveal to people, is this very guarded version of myself after the timid version. Um maybe maybe I will also reveal a little bit of my, because I'll probably cry. Like when I'm in the timid version of me, it's very easy. Like I might just cry. Okay. So it depends. Depends on how nervous I am. I'll probably cry first, and it'll take me like a while to get powerful Aoife up and running. But once powerful Aoife gets up and running, I'll probably stay in that mode for a while. And it'll take a while for like a softer version of myself to emerge. Powerful Aoife's power level? I don't know, but mostly it'll be like if someone is like having a bad day, like I'll do nice things for them type thing. Like I'll be as put together as I can be. Like a I'll try to be like I'll try to have like firmness or like I guess just like demonstrating strength. I don't know what else to say, right? Like reliability, being compassionate, being nice, being a good listener, like stuff like that or whatever is what I'll try to project once that's like my stage 2 self. I think. It's hard to tell. It's been a while since I socialized, so I don't really remember super well. But I think that that's common, obviously, to have these different versions of yourself. And then of course like there's like real me, which is the the endless void, right? So there's like layer after layer after layer, but then there's like the black pit of death or whatever at the core, right? Would I describe the real you as a gremlin or a goblin? Probably neither, I think. I would probably describe the real me as like thorns, I guess. Something like that, some kind of thorn imagery. Very, very unpleasant. But at the same time, not active. Very passively. Very passive, not very active. And, I guess I'm thinking defensive in my mind. Like, I will hurt people that try to touch me, I guess, too much. Right? But you can look from a distance and you're not gonna get hurt or anything. But I'd say the real me is generally, yeah, something like that, I would say. But also self-aware, right? So one thing that sucks is I feel like there's a few different ways a person can be, and I feel like I somehow ended up being the worst of like 3 different categories. I'm very selfish. I'm I'm like judgmental. I'm an asshole. I'm rude or whatever. I'm stuck up. But also, I'm very self-critical and I'm very unhappy with the way that I act. And for me, I wish that either like I wish I was either not so critical of myself, not so mean, or I was content to be mean. Any one of those three things would probably be fine, but for some reason, I got all three. So I'm a bad person. I'm aware that I'm a bad person. I have no desire to be a better person. And I hate myself for being a bad person. It's kind of like that is the thing. And if I would love to be either unaware of my bad personness, blissfully naive, I would like to be a good person, or I would like to be aware of my badness but not give a shit. And unfortunately, I give a shit, so it's unfortunate. How susceptible to impulse purchases? I will make an impulse purchase, but I won't make very many purchases ever. So the only purchases I make are generally impulse purchases. But for me, I don't really mind because I don't make purchases like almost ever. So if I have an impulse purchase, I just let myself do it because otherwise I wouldn't buy anything and I would just die of not buying anything. Kaze, to me, Kaze, you feel like you make a lot of impulse purchases. You give me those vibes. You don't? You kind of, I guess, you bought 300, holy shit. I'm sorry, I thought it would have been cheaper. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it costs so much, but if you like, the thing is, some makeup goes off. Like, some makeup will go bad eventually, but for the most part, you can sit on a lot of that makeup for a long time, and it'll be okay. So I wouldn't worry too much. I can be impulse generous. Sometimes you give people stuff without much planning. Why no sub for Aoife? Because I don't want to. Very funny. I prefer the running joke, anyway. I prefer the running joke of you not subbing over you subbing. Like, the joke is what I actually like. Turns out the greatest gift was the friends we made along the way.